How I guess, blessed do you feel to be doing this twice in 6 years?
Man, it's definitely a blessing because it took me 8 to get to the first one. So just trying to enjoy these last 2 weeks of the season and trying to put my best foot forward like we've been doing and just trying to get the win.
Was there ever a point where you wondered if you ever get to one?
I always believed I would get to one, but two now, man. I knew I talked about it last year going into this year saying, man, we coming back strong next year. We doing all this because I was hurt and just put the work in, every day, one day at a time. And then when I seen the off-season moves, I was like, oh, man, we got us some stuff. And then training camp was really good. And, man, all it was our consistency to just want to be better every day. And it's been working, and Coach definitely led the way.
What makes this one? How do you think you guys got from where you were at the end of that 2020 season to now?
Well, you know what? Getting into the playoffs, the postseason, that was the first step of it because a lot of guys, finish the season strong, and that's how you want to finish. You want to get hot at the right time, but then, you go against Brady. They who we lost to earlier. It was a closer game than before, but I know that it was just the first year with Jalen as a starter. For him going into the offseason, knowing that he was the guy with a new coach. And now I feel like going into this second year, it was just the people that Howie and those guys brought in. And then Jalen had a second year with the coach. And then, I feel like JG was a great hire for us last year. And, we didn't have to spend a lot of time on a lot of things that the first year that you have to spend a lot of time on.
When did Nick win you over?
You know what? He won me over when he first got here because it was cool because that press conference he had that he, did all the stuff, said all the wrong things where y'all got on him. I just felt like he came into here and gave us his honest answer on how he felt about it. He was pissed about it, and I love that because, a lot of coaches wouldn't admit to, sometimes when the media get under their skin and, it was just cool. It was just down to earth. Cool guy. He had a good report coming in from a lot of guys that was there with the coach that I talked to, and they said you got you a good one. Hopefully, him being the head coach don't change him, and from what I seen, it didn't change him, and so that's when he won me over, man. Just coming in, being real about how he feels. But I know, sometimes you can wear your emotions on your sleeve, which he does. But I think he does a great job of owning it and moving on too.
What do you remember about this trip to the Super Bowl special in a different way from the last one?
I'm in year 13. We finally got double digits this year. I'm contributing to help the team as much as I can. So, this has been the best for me because it's just, who would have thought in year 13 I would still be here after we won the Super Bowl that first time, and then how things went last year with me tearing my Achilles, and now coming off the Achilles and having one of my best years, and I'm not even playing half the snaps that I ever played. That I've been playing in previous. So I would just say that's the difference for me is just going to year 13 and making it with a team like this.
What do you remember about Andy down the stretch in 2012 when it was apparent that he wasn't coming back, and how he handled that, and ultimately how he handled talking to you guys that last time? When he was fired.
Coach Reed was always a real dude. He always handled his business. Really didn't have too much. He really didn't talk as much as far as team meetings, 5 minutes and we in and out. And then that's the difference from him and Nick. Like Nick being here about 20 to 30 minutes, and then Coach Reed, it was just like 5 minutes and you're done. You on the order of business is this. All right, go ahead and start your day. And I think it was always cool. And then for me, him drafting me, man, I'm always indebted to him because of him taking a chance on me in this organization when he was here. But yeah, man, old school. Got a lot of coaches that was under him that have similar styles on how they run their programs, and man, I think he's just the OG of all the coaches.
Brandon, earlier today, Julian.
You know what? I felt that one this time. I've really felt that because, you could see he was ready to, let it go a little bit as far as crying. And, he had a hell of a career, man. You shouldn't have no regrets, even if this year didn't go as well as you wanted it to go. People are going to always remember you of all the things, all the great things you've done, they still trying to make sure that, they have a better taste of what he didn't do this year and trying to, talk about what he did in his past to make up for this year. So Brady shouldn't hang his head about anything, man. He a Michigan man. He definitely got opportunity afterwards with that big deal that he got. So, I don't feel sorry for him.
You'll forever be linked. If you asked him and he was honest what the worst play of his life was, it's probably that play, that strip sack. What does that play mean to you in your life, your career, your license plate?
It's definitely a life changer, man. It changed my life because can't nobody take that one away. Going against Brady in the Super Bowl, somebody who is then put daggers in people's hearts in those drives, especially that last drive. And I was just, if anything, I'm happy because it was another Michigan guy. Something that I can always go back to Michigan. If I see Brady, we can always have a good conversation about that one. But I'm happy that I was able to do that in my career, especially how it went in the beginning, and to be able to make a play like that in a town that never had a championship, that we finally brought us one, and then it changed my trajectory of how people view me as a player, and it's just gotten better ever since.
How was your trash-talking game back then compared to now?
You know what? I cussed a little more back then than I did now. Because who used to tell me, Cullen Jenkins used to be like, man, why you always cussing, doing all this, man? They going to find you. They going to throw the flag on you. You got to get creative. And, he was real good. He was real slick at the mouth, too. He was a good trash talker, but he really didn't open up like how I do. Like, he would just say little stuff while you were around. But I think just hearing it from other guys, making sure that, I got the cussing part out of it and just, have some fun, man. It's just whatever kind of come to mind as I go out there.
Hey, Brandon, you're a leader on this team, and there was serious news about Josh Hills yesterday. Have you guys talked about that, and do you find that to be a distraction at this point in your preparations?
Nah, I think, for the most part, that probably was a situation that the Eagles already kind of knew about. I don't really discuss, stuff that goes on because I don't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? I just know that Josh is a cool guy. I talk to him all the time when he's in here. I'm behind him 100% on, whatever it is because I don't know the whole story. I just know I want to support him. I hate that it's allegations, and I hate the whole situation for both parties because, I'm sure it's been a storm since then for him and the female that's involved. And so I hope that, they get down to the bottom of everything. And, I don't see it as a distraction. I just see it as something that he has to handle. And, just know that his teammates behind him.
Brandon, back to Nick for a second. Julian Love from the Giants today said, he was talking about what's a veteran team.
I heard it talking about Nick.
Yeah. What's your response to that? And in terms of how do you counter that in terms of what he has meant to this team?
You know what, man? People always got something to say when they at home. So they got some stuff to think about. So I ain't really gonna touch too much on it. I just know that Coach Sirianni is. It don't matter what he did last year with a team that nobody thought was going to do much. He ended up getting us to the playoffs. And then for his second year, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get better. You're supposed to bring players in to get to do exactly what you need them to do. And we did that. He said anybody can coach this team. It's like, man, it don't matter because at the end of the day, it's on your GM and your president and people to be able to bring guys in and sign guys and have people want to come to this organization. So, man, it's a whole bunch of different factors other than just him talking about Coach Sirianni. It's just, a lot of people just mad because of what happened this season. I understand. But, yeah, it definitely carried no weight because, Coach proved himself each and every day. And if you're not in here, you really wouldn't know that. So it's just all lip service.
Nick has talked about shared with younger players about your previous Super Bowl experience, not just the game itself, but the distractions and festivities leading up to it next week.
Well, you know what? I told them guys, just make sure you have fun, when it's time to have it. But when we in between those lines and we in those meetings, let's make it about what we do well and how we can carry out this game plan. Because in that game, we didn't come all this way to get embarrassed. We didn't come all this way to start, playing around now, keep it consistent. That's what we've been doing, keeping it consistent, knowing how to turn it on, turn it off. Because you are going to have a bunch of family in town. You're going to have people all around, and, it's going to be so many different things going on. But I'm not saying you can't indulge in it and have fun with it, but just make sure you're responsible, because that's what it's about. It's about you taking care of your business when it's time, and, you can definitely play hard, too, if you can handle that.
Your whole family be there?
There was a point towards the end of the game on Sunday, when the starting offense was able to get off the field, and you and Fletch were hugging Jalen before the clock hit 0. What was that moment like, and what was your message to Jalen?
Just proud of him because of all the doubters this year of what Jalen's going to do. I don't know how many times I got that from fans and even some media people like, man, I don't know. The X factor is Jalen. We don't know what Jalen going to do. I mean, I've seen him this offseason work. I'm just happy that it paid off for him because, that's the stuff y'all don't see. Y'all don't see that every day sometimes. And, you see some bad days at practice and then people judge off that because that's the first thing they saw. Because I remember him throwing a couple of picks or something in practice. Something happened. And, it was just like, man, we're here to get better in training camp. So I'm excited. I was just more telling him, like, man, I just appreciate him because of, all the things that he had to overcome this year. And you didn't see him get rattled not one time. And, man, I'm going to fight for a guy like that every time, somebody that just keep their nose clean, keep their head on, and get to work.
Nick has referenced having the 4 veteran guys who have been through the Super Bowl before sort of helped, get back up very quickly. What kind of role do you think the 4 of you have played in pushing this team forward?
Just showing them how to practice because, that kind of goes unsaid a lot, just on knowing how to practice. You got to make sure that you bring it every day. And some days that we don't have it, you got to make sure that you can talk about it and tell people, hey, man, I need you. I know you ain't start so good today. Well, come on, I need you to finish the practice the right way because we know what shows up in practice shows up in the game, good or bad. And so I think it's more of how we carry ourselves every day, our regimen, because us older guys have to get warmed up, which I got to do in a little bit of just getting in your regimen of like I get in the steam room, the sauna, like, get my body loose a little bit before I go out. And if you can create those habits at a young age, it's going to carry you, later on in your career. That's what Trent Cole used to do a lot of, and that's who I kind of idolized during that time when he was here. And so I kind of do this. I do the same thing, if not more, because of my age. And I think a lot of guys respect that, and they've adopted that, and they've been in there with me, doing stuff that I do just to kind of let them know that they hear me.
You have extended last time at the Super Bowl. That first experience you had going through it, did you learn anything that you pass it on to your teammates?
You know what? I ain't talked about that. I get what you're saying. It is a little longer than just stay doing stuff during halftime stretch. Warm up one more time, just to kind of get that flow back, and just enjoy that moment too.
You asked getting the shoulder better. How does it feel day to day? Tell us about it.
I'm getting there. I've made it clear this whole time that it's been something that I've been dealing with, and getting there.
Can you give us a number?
I can't.
It's getting better. You feel it getting better?
What time? Yeah, we have a heck of an opportunity in front of us, and excuse me, we have a heck of an opportunity in front of us, and we've worked really hard to be where we are now. So to have the opportunity is something that you earn. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you earn. So we want to work really hard to take advantage of it.
Until recently, there weren't a lot of examples of dual threat quarterbacks, true dual threat guys in the Super Bowl, and those have been harder to win that way. I guess as someone who embraces it, how much pride do you take in kind of destigmatizing that one on the quarterback label?
Yeah, I think every guy has a unique way of doing what they do. You're not going to turn on the TV and see everybody playing the game the same way. So, I don't necessarily take pride in playing the game a certain way. I just take pride in being who I am. Everybody does it different, and everybody has something different that makes them special and great, but just try and go out there and play the game to win.
You watched Cam on that stage a few years ago, I guess. You mentioned he's a mentor of yours before. What do you remember about him on that stage? Have you talked to him at all about handling?
I haven't. I think anyone like Mike Vick, Cam, Randall Cunningham, McNabb, all of those types of guys are guys that a lot of young kids looked up to. A lot of young black kids as well. I mean, Steve McNair, all of those guys. So, yeah.
Jalen,
What do you being a starting quarterback in the Super Bowl where it's the first time there's two black starting quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think it's history. I think it's something that's worthy of being noted, and it is history. It's come a long way. I think there's only been 7 African-American quarterbacks to play in the Super Bowl. So to be the first for some is pretty cool. So I know it'll be a good one.
Was there a moment Sunday night after Kansas City won when you realized that there was this historical significance with this Super Bowl?
No, not until everybody else started talking about it. But I think, it's history, and it's always cool to be on a good, not necessarily good or bad, but, be in history, I guess. I don't know.
Jalen, what do you take away from the first time you played against the Chiefs? I know it was only like a year ago, basically, but it was like early in the season, maybe your 4th game as a full-time starter, and just from where you were then to where you are now.
Yeah, I think, I think they had a really good team last year. They have a really good team this year. I think in terms of us, we just have to go out there and do kind of what we've done all year, just go out there and try and execute at a high level. We know we have a huge challenge in front of us with what they do on defense and their front 7 and how active they are up front. But we want to just go out there and kind of play clean.
Yeah, I think this is a matchup also with the youngest quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. Do you have any thoughts on that, or the significance of going forward with the young up-and-coming quarterbacks?
No, I mean, the oldest guy just left the game. A lot of respect to him. I take time to show my respect for him. Probably won't ever be able to get him again because he ain't playing no more. But a lot of respect to him and what he's done for the game and what he's done for the position.
How old do you think you were when this became a
guys in the locker room that have been through this, Jason, Lane, Fletch, BG, guys like that. It is a little bit different, everything from the extra time, longer halftime. Do you sort of pick their brains on what it's like to get prepared for this?
I think they're definitely guys that we can lean on. I think they're definitely guys we can lean on, and their experiences. I think experience is the biggest teacher. So you have to kind of go through it yourself to learn the most from it, but having those guys around is definitely beneficial. And I think, there's a lot of familiar faces around here that have been here, so I think as a team we're leaning on one another.
How long has this been a dream of yours to play the Super Bowl? Do you have any idea like how young you were when you started thinking that way?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always wanted to be the best, Sam. So Super Bowl is on the list to be the best, so that's why I wanted to kind of fell in line.
Jalen, Michael Vick was on the radio yesterday, and he mentioned that he was speaking with Donovan McNabb, talking about you, and he said that the two of them wish that they handled their early career the way you are. What does it mean to be talked about like that from two guys you've mentioned before multiple times that you admire?
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. Those are guys that I've watched as a kid, looked up to for a long time, and I have them here and kind of blazing their trails and, trying to create new ones. Those are guys I have a lot of respect for, and I think I just try and go out there and play the game with passion and, go throughout the process of preparing for games and giving it my all. Every day I'm here and every time I'm on the field and just leading, so I appreciate that.
As a leader on this team, what's your message to your teammates about avoiding distractions blocking out distractions when you get to Arizona in a couple of days?
Yeah, I think, man, you just have to focus on everything that's in front of you and keep the main thing the main thing. You know, there's a lot of distractions all the time, and I think this time of year, when you're fortunate enough to make it this far, they're amplified. So hopefully everybody can stay focused on the task at hand, enjoy the moment, embrace the moment, but also, stay focused on what matters.
And there was serious news that surfaced yesterday about Josh. Have you guys talked about that at all? What's been the conversations?
I'm sorry?
About what happened with Josh Sills yesterday? The news that surfaced
Yeah,
about Josh Sills yesterday?
It's not my place to comment on anybody's legal issues, so. My best play of the season? The season's not over.
Have you heard from Coach Saban?
I have not. I haven't. Usually he probably call me at some point, private line. He has a private little caller ID he calls people from, so I don't get them much, but I know when they come in, I expect it's him.
Jalen, this past Sunday, you guys set a record for most rushing touchdowns by any franchise in NFL history. I guess what do you appreciate most about the mixture of people involved, from Jeff Style and Jamal, and obviously your running backs?
Yeah, man, it's a credit to everyone. Why our offense is moving the way it's moving, but in that run game, you have interchangeable pieces back there that everybody's kind of eating. You know what I mean? And up front, they're always on the same head. Coach Stout does a great job of setting the tone early in the weeks with his position group, and we all do it together. We're all supportive of one another. Coach Singleton does a hell of a job talking about ball security and the importance of that and the techniques of that. It takes everyone, and I think it's been a thing that has been done together.
Kenny Gainwell, his emergence, could you see that he had the ability to be more than a role player and to take this kind of role on?
I think everybody has the ability to be. They're all big-time players. There's no surprise to what Kenny Gainwell has been able to do. Kenny is a hell of a player, and all those guys, I always tell them, when your phone rings, answer. So they've all been able to answer for us, and we need it. One more game.
How well do you know Patrick Mahomes? Were you aware of him going back to high school? I mean, both being Texas guys and everything.
Yeah, no, and Texas is so big. I turn on the TV, and he's a little older than me too. But turn on the TV and see, you had the Texas high school football late night show, and it runs throughout the whole state. And you see what he's doing in East Texas. You have Houston, you have Dallas, San Antonio. You have so many areas. And at White House, I think he went to White House. He always was lighting up over there. So I had a lot of respect for him, and I always was kind of watching from afar.
Good. Thanks, Jalen. Graham and A.J. Brown up here now.
A.J., what's it like to be on this stage with a former high school teammate? How close are you and Willie, and what does it mean to you to be in that situation today?
It's truly a blessing to be on the biggest stage of football. I'm so blessed to play this game and to know Willie and played high school ball with him, competed against him in college, and growing up like 5 minutes from where we live from each other. It means everything. It means everything to the city of Starkville. I know they're proud of both of us. We lived in the country, so it just shows to the kids you can make it out. You can do whatever you want to do. You put your mind to it. You take the right route.
A.J., Nick tells us that for all the meetings, you and Jay are right here at the front. A couple of days ago, when you guys had your first introductory logistics meeting for the Super Bowl, did that one hit a little bit different, sitting next to your friend and knowing that you guys are going to the Super Bowl?
I think it hit a little different. To be honest, after the game, you know, kind of really set in today a little bit because we had to come back to work. You know, we back to work. You know, what we wanted to accomplish. So, just being on this level with my friend, the talks that we had in the past, is right in front of our eyes. So.
You mentioned the talks you've had in the past with Jalen. Been here almost a year, traded to go in April. Was this always the expectation, or was this always the dream to be here talking about going to the Super Bowl in a couple of days?
This was always the expectation. When I got here, my first post-game speech, and, you know, I told him I don't want to put no pressure on him, but this is the goal, you know. This is why we play the game. You know, I'm not playing for individual awards, like playing the game to be the best and to hold that trophy up at the end, you know. So right now we're right here. We're at the door. We just got to go take it. That just hats off to our O-line and our running backs, man. They've been running the ball really well. You know, I be having people coming at me sideways about me not putting up no numbers, you know. But you got to watch the game, man. You know, you got to watch the game to see how our offense, our O-line, and our running backs been dominating, you know. And we just doing whatever it takes right now, you know. And you never know how the game's gonna go. How, you know, just be prepared. Like, and I'm doing my job. I'm blocking, whatever the case may be. So, you know, I don't really care how it get done, you know, as long as it get done, you know.
Even though you got traded, you still made the decision to re-sign here. So you had to make that decision to be here long term. Were you looking at the roster and the way Howie was putting things together when you made that decision?
No, unfortunately. All I needed to know who's going to be my quarterback, and that told me everything I need to know. You know, I was going to let the chips fall where they may. You know, he made it a lot easier to make the trade go down. You know, trade happen. You know, I would say. You know, because like I said in the past, like I was crying, and you know, but as soon as he called me, we got to laughing, and that's where that phone call came in at, you know, and the tears went away. You know, I'm first ready for a new start. So
once you got here and you saw the roster, what made you think this team had this type of chance?
You know, we go through camp, and you know, it's practice, and you know, I don't really take. You know, I mean, I take practice serious, but you know, I don't want to judge practice. You know, I want to go against somebody else and see, you know, how guys react. And it was week one, and we came back in the locker room and it was like, hey, we got a lot of good pieces around this room. We just got to stay focused and stay locked in 1 week at a time. And, you know, it could really happen, you know, and the testament, here we are.
How has it helped you and Devontae especially going against Slay and James Bradbury every day in the corners and learning some things from them as well?
I think those two are the toughest corners that we faced all year. You know, we face them every day in camp. You know, of course, you're going to be ready for whoever's in front of you. You know, because they're two guys who do two different things. They play two different ways, and they do it really well. You know, I love going against them in camp. You know, because I knew it was going to get me ready. You know, I never went against Slay. So until I got here, I went against James before, but just seeing those guys on an everyday basis is going to help the room, help me out, you know, and just get us ready, and vice versa.
A.J., you talked about the goal, this being the goal. You talked about seeing that you had the pieces in week one, but was there a point during the season when you said, okay, we're really good, you got a real shot at this?
I mean, of course, you know, we had momentum going like as the season went on, and you know, was undefeated for a while, and you know, it was kind of just easy to get big-headed, you know. But we got a special group, and this group held everybody accountable, you know. You know, it's football and stuff happened, and we had a hiccup there, but it's a special group, and I just think the group just held everybody accountable, you know, keeping the main thing, and so yeah.
I feel like at the end of April when you were here on this very stage, a lot of the questions that we had were like, how are you and Devontae going to complement each other?
Right.
I guess now that we're here right before the Super Bowl, what have you appreciated most about being, you know, seeing him work as a teammate?
As I appreciate the most, he's selfless. Our whole room is selfless. As a receiver, every guy in the room wants the ball. But it takes a different type of human to put yourself aside and and do it for the team. But most importantly, he has taken a big stride through this year. I would say, man. And it's from the little things too. You guys may not see it, but I see it up close and personal. And just the mental part of it. I think it was probably like the biggest thing that he knows that he can get open against anybody. And I feel like when you think that way, it's in your DNA. Can't nothing stop you. And I joke all the time and say like I'm always open and this and that. Like I think in this position, like if you thinking that way and you moving that way, like you're gonna start to believe it, and that's the way we approach each and every day, and to get better, to be open, to get open, and and to be, I don't know, yeah. So
Two more. There was a moment, before training camp where you, him, Jalen, even Smitty's brother, where y'all worked out and it was, pouring rain. What was that workout like? What do you remember about that day?
That's the stuff I love, to be honest. I love the off season more than the season, because that's when I prepare. That's when I get better. But that particular day, we all got together in the morning, and it was pouring down raining, and we was running the hill, and that kind of like let everybody know, let the team know how serious we were about this, that we coming in to work, no matter the circumstances, we're going to get it done. And, most guys today in the NFL would not show up to a workout like that or go home. It's real work applied out there. So.
You spoke about
Last one.
the state of Mississippi itself is very well represented. It's not often viewed from the same level as like Texas or Florida. What is it about that state that proves so much talent?
I don't know. I think the state of Mississippi is just slept on. They don't think too many guys are going to come out of their state and produce at a high level. They got some guys like Chris Jones, a couple more other guys, from the state as well, and so do we. But that's a state that's just hungry. It kind of reminds me of Philly. We're poor state. Not giving much. You got to go earn whatever you want, and that's just how it is. And so I'm pretty sure the state of Mississippi is proud of everyone